I'm Bill the Piano Tuner. Thanks for joining me again. Today we're going to talk about pitch raising or pitch correction. But before we do that, I want to review something. Now, we talked about key bushings and we talked about key chucking. Do you remember how to check for that? The first thing you do for key bushings is to drag your finger across the front of the key and see if you hear clattering. So we don't hear clattering, so the key bushings aren't totally shut. Next thing we do is see how tight the keys are. See how they're hardly moving? So this piano does not need key rebushing. Now we talked about chucking. The way to check for chucking on a black key is to just grab the key and pull it toward you and push it back. There's absolutely no movement in that, so it doesn't need any work. If you want to check a white key, you press down the two keys on either side, grab it, and there's no play. So this piano doesn't need key rebushing and doesn't need repair for chucking. Now, I'm going to start to get this piano prepared to work on. The first thing I do is put this temperament strip in the keys. I push the soft pedal down, and I place the felt between the string groups. In the upper treble, as you see, there's 3 strings per note. Here, there's 2 strings per note. I can only do 1 string at a time, so I have to mute out the string on either side of the middle string so that I can just tune one string at a time. Alright, now we have the felt temperament strip installed. You can see that it's muting out either side so there are only the middle string sounds. Now the other tools I use for doing tuning and pitch raising, this is a PAPS mute. What I use it for is in the upper treble where I can't use a temperament strip. I use it to mute out 2 of the strings. As you can see, I'm shoving it between the 2 strings. So that makes it so only the 1 string sounds. Remember, you can only tune 1 note string at a time, so you have to have mutes to mute out the other strings. This is just a rubber mute. I put a handle on it just to make it easier to use. What I use this for is in the bass. There's 2 strings per note. I put it in between the 2 notes so that now you only have 1 string per note sounding. Now, if you take a look at the machine I'm using today for evening out the pitch is a Cyto tuner. When I set this Cyto tuner to 2 knobs on 0, the machine is set at A440 concert pitch. Now I set it on the note that I want and the which group of octaves I want. Now when I play the F, if you notice on the machine, so how the dots are going. So what I do is I can see how flat it is. It's about 9 cents or 9% of a half tone flat. Let's discuss that a little bit right now. Okay, now let's take a look at the keyboard here. This note here is middle C. It's located basically in the middle of the piano. Now the note below middle C is B. Now the distance between C and B is a half tone. Now the note above middle C is C sharp, and the distance between C sharp and C is a half tone. Now if you think of the space between C and B as 100% and the space between C and C sharp is 100%, when you're checking pitch, you can then say the piano is, say, 10% flat from A440 or 10% or 15% sharp on C sharp. Now, what we're doing on this pitch raising is evening out. Now this F, as I said, is about 9 cents flat. Now if we had a piano that was, say, 30% flat, in order to bring it even it out at pitch, you would have to set the Cyto tuner 5 cents sharp. When you're done doing the piano pitch raising, the piano will be even at a 440 concert pitch. And then the piano, after the pitch raising, needs to be sit for a week to equalize, and then I come back and do a fine tuning, and then the piano's good for 4 to 6 months. The piano should be tuned at least every 4 to 6 months. Now let's start with this pitch raising. Okay, now there's 220 to 240 strings on the piano. As you can see down here, there's 1 string per note. Here there's 2 strings per note. This little section has 2 strings per note. And these are, each key has three strings per note going up. Okay, now what I've done is I've tuned 1 string per note all the way to the top of the piano, just the 1 string. Now what I'm going to do is pull in unisons, and what I do for that is I did tune these tunes. I pull the strip out, and now there's 2 strings per vibrating. You hear that wavering? Well, that's not. That's not bad enough for. This one should be. You hear that wavering? Yeah. Well, I want to get that out. As I pull the mute out, it leaves this string open so I can tune that string. Pull it out. Hear that? Yeah. Hear how nice and clear, there's no wavering at all. Now that one's a good one. See how it's ay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and tune the 2nd string on these notes that have 3 strings all the way to the upper treble, all the way to the top. I'll just pull in 1 string per group, all the way to the upper top. Then what I'll do is I'll come back down, and because now this string is exposed, I'll pull in the unisons. Well, that's what it takes to do a pitch raising. I'm off to Bryn Mawr to tune the piano, where I'll be perfecting each note 1 key at a time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.